hate to sound like a broken record, because I said this after we beat Rayville, but it's the preparation. All right, the preparation. That the next day after we play a Rayville team that get up and down at 11 o'clock that morning, we was at Sam Houston High School practice, as if we didn't just play an up and down game at 7:30 at night. And these guys, we asked them one question: are you satisfied, or do you want to go ahead and finish? And our message was, we didn't get this far to not finish the job. All right, these guys did a really, really good job of getting in practice on Friday. All right, we had our best shoot around this morning. Believe this or not, we got 1% better this morning in shoot around, which was only 45 minutes. So it don't surprise me that these dudes went out and played like they just played.
The start was a little slow. I know that didn't bother you. You figured you build momentum, but did you even really have to tell them anything when they fell behind early? This is a confident group.
Oh man, these guys are confident.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to the work that they put in.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3 guys that sit at the table, as well as the others that's in the back. These dudes sometimes in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. We don't start school till 18. So, I mean, and it's the extra work that pays off in these kind of games. And all of our guys, not just these 3, those other 9 that's in that locker room. Those guys work, man. So it doesn't surprise me. And then we got good leaders. We got 3 leaders right here. We got leaders that's in the locker room that don't get rattled. We've been in pretty much every situation that we could be in this season.
Coach,
one thing I think Jordan could attest to, we've been talking about since scrimmage number 1 is being really good one-on-one defenders. And I think when you have a team that's full of really good one-on-one defenders and the rim protection we have, it's just hard to score on us when we really sit down and guard and we locked in on defense. And a lot of times we talk about letting our defense turn into our offense, and that's what we started to do in that second quarter once we settled in.
Coach, for those of us who aren't familiar, can you just explain the number 25 jersey? It seemed like a lot of guys had an emotional response, obviously, to the win, but doing it for that jersey, for that player, obviously.
Might get a little emotional with it. That's Jalen Knox. He tore his ACL, tore his meniscus against Donaldsonville. You're talking about a guy that does everything right. Our message to him before the season was, we don't need you to take 3 or 4 bad shots. Ask me how many times he did it. None. He's just a guy that does everything right. And seeing him go down, man, that was tough, because we asked a lot of him. And you're talking about Jalen was a 3-year starter. So Jalen brought some experience that we really missed when he left. But credit to these dudes, man, these guys, all of our guys, since when he went down, that game, lost versus Dawsonville, it was an emotional wreck for us. But these dudes locked in and just said, next man up. We all got to step our play up. As coaches, we got to step up, and everybody did that. So that's the deal with him. And he wasn't able to come because he had just had surgery, and he going through the process, getting back in therapy. So the bus ride wasn't going to be a good one for him, and he still needs some extra treatment. But we called him on FaceTime as soon as the game was over, and I'm sure he'll be waiting to see us.
EJ, same question. EJ, same question. Brought the jersey out there to get your most outstanding player award. Just talk about how special that was for you.
Oh man, I did this one with Jalen. I mean, Jalen helped me a lot since I was a freshman. He led me, he showed me the way around school, everything. And I just gave him all for him.
Coach, can you, three-peat more than anything else, great for the program and all that. You was an assistant last year. This is your first year as a head coach. You have a scary team, only 2 seniors. You got a lot coming back. Do you think the program right now is in good hands?
I think, well, one, I'm not gonna take the credit. I'm gonna give credit to God. I'm gonna give credit to my coaching staff. I'm gonna give credit to these players, man. Again, as I said earlier, it ain't too much. We've been through a lot of adversity. We've been through a lot of tough battles, and those battles prepared us for this. But our thing is, we know we're gonna celebrate these guys, but when it's the postseason start, it's time for us to prepare to get ring number 4.
Both teams brought a good crowd. This is a good crowd for people 2 hours away.
We got the best fan base in the state.
EJ, talk a little bit about your game. I mean, I think Jordan had a little bit of a high hand a little earlier than you did, and it just seemed like you picked your spots and kind of, you know, it just started coming to you and just talk about that a little bit, getting into the flow of the game and how it went.
Yeah, I was just looking at how the game tempo was going. I seen Jordan was getting in foul trouble and he was out for a little minute, so I knew I had to get more aggressive. And from there, I just kept it going.
I felt like the shot wasn't going early, but I felt when you hit that three, I think you was like, finally. But you had 11 rebounds contributing in other areas, man. Just talk about that. Just even though your shot wasn't falling, just knowing that you had to keep contributing. You had a couple steals as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut him off, but he just tapped me on my leg because you said he had 11 rebounds. So I'm gonna have to pay for that without.
Yeah, I just knew I had to get to the goal. Not at that point, get to the free throw line. I knew once I get to the free throw line, my shots was going to eventually fall.
Isaiah, man, you had a huge game in the semifinals. You should have been up here. That's our fault for not getting you up here after the last game. But you set the table for these guys in the playoffs with the assists. You were aggressive on offense. When you joined the team in January, man, just talk about that journey. I mean, I'm sure you were practicing and stuff, but just playing in the games from January to now, in the state championship.
Well, it's just
Give
this
him the
team is
mic.
like very welcoming. This team is very welcoming, so it's really easy to connect our IQs together. And you know, my passes, they gotta get used to that. And they definitely got used to it in the playoffs. So just piggybacking and just making them easier to score. You know, that's my job. But obviously we did that well today.
Let me say this: Isaiah didn't start practicing with us until the right time. So he got acclimated like late, and he's been really great for our team. Our guys have done a great job of welcoming him in and just taking him home and making him a brother. Man, so it's credit to him and credit to the rest of these players for getting him involved.
Coach, in a first year program, it's a learning experience for, I think, both sides. Do you think that it was harder for you to get these guys to buy into a new voice, or to you trying to instill a new voice in them to have immediate success like this?
Well, as I've said before, this program with Coach Jones had won two state championships in a row. My job wasn't to come in and make change. My job was to continue to just elevate it and let these dudes play like they know how to play. And my very first day that I got announced, which was June 8th, we had practice that same day. And them dudes, those guys looked at me and said, Coach, we plan on winning state championship number 3. So I'm like, well, let's go to work then. So I think it was a mixture. We had our bumps and our bruises, but these dudes just kept working. We got to the weight room, we got to our conditioning, we got our skill development in. So it was a mixture. And I knew the expectation, they knew the expectation, and we met it.
Joey, you a senior?
Yes, sir.
Like I said, just talk about how you feel.
Jared,
Falling out on top, and Jalen.
Well, it feels great. You know, I've been in the dome since my freshman year. You know, it just like I was really used to it, and I knew what I had to do for the team. And, you know, missing Jalen, it was like it hurt me when he went down, but I knew what I had to do for him.
EJ, you've been a state championship every year in high school so far, man. Any pressure going into next year, senior year? You guys got a lot of guys coming back. Obviously, you lose Jordan, Jameer, guys like that. But what's the kind of the mindset looking forward to next year? Because I know once y'all step out of here, coach, we can talk about it next year.
My mindset is to get another. Trying to go forward in a row.
Any of the players, your thoughts on making this huge run in the school's history of knowing Port Allen has been a program that's been coming up, but now basketball is really king out there at Port Allen. So what are your thoughts, any of the players, about making this run in school history, 3 straight titles in basketball?
I like it. Port Allen, they like